Wherefore, Series 3, Episode 26. Only after he has sat down does Tim realise he is outside the same cafe as Sabrina. She has her back to him, but he recognises the distinctive combination of her jacket and hair. Feeling awkward, he angles his own chair round so that he's looking down the street and can pretend not to notice her. He has no idea what to say. Sabrina is a sore point for Tim. He knows perfectly well it is his fault they broke up, but that doesn't help. He misses her. He misses feeling like she was impressed by him. It is an even bigger sore point that she has also taken up wizardry and that the other older wizards all seem to think well of her, even though she's been the main person messing up their whole 7 wizards who run Stroud scheme. As far as Tim knows, some of the wizards are rethinking the whole 7 wizards thing. As far as he can tell, this mostly means they don't all invite each other to meetings anymore. Particularly, they do not invite him. Tim came in as a wizard during the time of Great Cooperation, and has no idea how out of character that was for the other wizards. Some of them just aren't very sociable. Several of them actively dislike each other. And now that lockdown is easing, all of them have other things to do. It is also true that none of them are especially fond of Tim, but unbeknownst to him, they wouldn't expect to be. Liking other wizards is not something wizards traditionally do. As the 2 youngest wizards, Tim and Sabrina might have been natural allies were it not for the small awkwardness of having broken up and not having talked to each other in a while. It would be fair to say that Tim is feeling sorry for himself. He sips iced latte, taking some small comfort from the ice cubes. It is a hard thing to be involved with the ice during the summer. He feels so desperately out of kilter with the season. All of his old glaciers have melted because none of them were big enough to keep going without daily maintenance, and he's been so busy. He still finds megafauna in the garden some mornings. His parents have stopped commenting. Tim has stopped trying to explain them in ways that don't make it sound like his fault. It is, of course, entirely his fault that they show up, leaving massive prints in the lawn, eating the shrubbery, and taking dumps of prehistoric proportions. To console himself, Tim spends time in supermarkets in the vicinity of the freezers. He is worried about hassles from security guards and so limits himself to 1 supermarket a day and cycles round them as best he can. Today he has had some quality time in Iceland, feeling the chill on his skin. Sometimes he buys a bag of ice cubes just to touch them and spend time in their company. He is fairly sure this isn't healthy or normal, but there's no one he can check in with. Contact with ice comforts him, but he feels entirely alone in his obsession. He wishes the girl with the ice-marked face had come back, but he's not even seen her around in ages. Being a teenage wizard and the son of Satanists, Tim is emotionally predisposed to feeling alone and wallowing about in a sense of being unique and incomprehensible. He feels misunderstood, and he feels it thoroughly. He's halfway down the latte and deep into his well-crafted gloom when a jovial older woman plonks herself down at his table and smiles at him. Tim is automatically offended. The woman frowns, and then there are an array of other facial features he can't read, and he wonders if she's simply bonkers and has decided he is to be her next victim. He hopes she isn't an anti-vaxxer. He's already shouted at a few of them this week. "Tim, isn't it?" says the woman, which freaks him out. He stares at her, a frightened magical rabbit caught in the headlights. "We need to talk about my house." Cogs start whirring inside Tim's brain, but nothing helpful comes out of his mouth, and he has no idea what to do. "What do you mean?" he asks, stalling for time. "My house on Horns Road, which I gather is your house now. It won't let me in." "That was mostly Winklepicker," he says quickly, feeling no great loyalty at this point. "I am not surprised," says the woman. Tim doesn't really know what the wizard Amagin looked like, but none of the stories led him to expect this. He had assumed Imogen would be a chap, for a start, maybe this sort of age, but not wearing big gold earrings and chunky beads. He had Imogen down as a bit of a hippie, old grunge vibes maybe. This woman looks like she does most of her shopping at Marks and Spencer's. She smiles at him, disconcertingly. I can assure you, I am not the wizard Imogen, she says, as though she has read his mind. I'm simply the message bearer. Tim looks around nervously. Where is he? In my head, the woman says, which is not comforting. She goes on to talk about the things Imogen wants back from his house. Some of them Winklepicker has taken, and Tim is quick to point this out. Other things seem harmless enough, and he is prepared to retrieve them. He thinks it may be the path of least discomfort, and if it annoys the other wizards, he's fine with that. Tim hears the chair behind him scrape as the occupant stands up and leaves. He wonders if Imogen recognises her from behind, but there's nothing informative on the face of the woman opposite. He wonders how much Sabrina heard, and what she will say about it, and to whom. He supposes he will have to deal with any fallout from this when it hits him. He sighs deeply, feeling even more sorry for himself. Give me a call when you have the things, the woman says. She hands him a business card. Marjorie Peaseblossom, dream therapist. But of course, you already knew that. Tell me, she says, do you ever dream that you are in the beacon, wearing only your pants, desperately needing to pee but unable to find a toilet? She asks. Tim is surprised. Yeah, a couple of times. Marjorie nods sagely. I thought as much, she says.